You water it, you fertilize it, you wait patiently, and year after year, your lychee tree sits there, completely healthy, vibrantly green, and completely bare of fruit. It grows plenty of fresh leaves, but almost never produces a single flower. This animated diagram breaks down the underlying biology causing the problem. The lychee tree has two competing drives. It can send its energy into vegetative growth, pushing new leaves and branches, or it can switch to reproduction, forming flowers and fruit. It rarely has the capacity to do both strongly at the exact same time. By supplying constant, heavy water and year-round fertilizer, you are actually trapping the tree in that vegetative state. The good plant care practices that work for other plants are actively instructing your lychee tree to grow more leaves instead of preparing to bloom. To break this cycle in a mature tree, we need to stop feeding the canopy and start triggering the reproductive cycle. We will do this using a 4-step environmental protocol that halts leaf production and provides the specific seasonal signals the tree requires to set heavy fruit. Getting a lychee tree to bloom does not require buying a magical soil additive. It requires changing the environmental instructions the tree is receiving. Step 1 is auditing your fertilizer routine. As winter approaches, you must immediately halt all applications of heavy urea, fresh manure, and high nitrogen formulas. Nitrogen is the engine for leaf growth. If you apply it late in the season, you force the tree to continually push out fresh, light green shoots. Those shoots consume the energy the tree should be using to form flower panicles. Take a look at this fertilizer label. Prior to the flowering season, you need to shift to a balanced nutritional profile like this one, significantly lowering the nitrogen while heavily boosting the second and third numbers, phosphorus and potassium. Phosphorus and potassium are critical right now. They support root strength and provide the necessary nutrients for reproductive bud development, all without accidentally triggering a fresh flush of useless leaves. Starving the tree of late-season nitrogen is the definitive action that breaks the endless cycle of vegetative growth. Once the nitrogen drops, the tree is primed for the next signal. With the nutrients adjusted, step 2 is winter water management. A common mistake during the cool pre-flowering months is keeping the soil constantly wet through frequent irrigation. Notice the texture of this soil. We want to initiate controlled water stress. This means drastically reducing your watering schedule and allowing the topsoil to become slightly dry and crumbly between irrigations. There is a careful balance here. You are not letting the roots desiccate or causing the tree to severely dehydrate. You are applying just enough drought stress to clearly signal to the tree that the active growing season has ended. Lychee trees evolved in subtropical climates with cool, dry winters. When you combine natural lower winter temperatures with this intentional slight dehydration, you recreate their native environment. That combination is the exact biological trigger required for flower bud formation. Leveraging this natural environmental stress is highly effective. It is a far more reliable way to induce flowering than applying chemical growth regulators. Step 3 involves correcting the most misunderstood requirement for a lychee tree, pruning timing. Lychee flowers only emerge from terminal shoots that are fully mature. This 12-month calendar shows why pruning near winter fails. It triggers vegetative growth instead of flowers. Prune entirely within the post-harvest window for maximum recovery. Shoots require months to mature before cool weather. If tender by winter, they won't bloom. By removing weak, crowded, or diseased branches early in the cycle, you ensure all the remaining healthy shoots have the time they need to reach maturity. Following this strict timeline guarantees that the tree's physical architecture is actually ready to respond when the cool weather signals finally arrive. The final step is a physical audit of the tree's immediate environment. Look closely at the canopy and ensure that nearby buildings or larger trees are not casting dense, constant shade over the branches. Lychee trees require full sun. A shaded canopy lacks the light energy necessary to induce heavy flowering, and the resulting trapped moisture significantly increases the risk of fungal disease. Here is a macro view of a healthy, mature terminal bud. This exact anatomical point is where the flower panicle will emerge. You must inspect these tips from microscopic pests like mites, which can silently destroy the emerging buds before you even realize they are there. A well-lit canopy and pest-free terminal shoots are non-negotiable. Without them, the tree's internal hormonal signals cannot physically manifest into flowers. You cannot issue a command to a lychee tree. You cannot force it to bloom through sheer will. You can only manipulate the environment around it. By cutting out late-season nitrogen, implementing cool-season water stress, timing your pruning perfectly, and securing full sunlight, you stop feeding the leaves and start communicating with the tree. When those signals align, the shift is highly visible. First, the flower panicles appear. Then the bees arrive. And finally, the tree sets a heavy canopy of dense, harvest-ready fruit. Aligning your care routine with the tree's biological requirements saves you from spending years pouring money into random fertilizers that yield zero results. So the next time your tree gives you only leaves, don't ask what you should add to the soil. Ask what signal the tree is missing. Let me know in the comments below, is your lychee tree stuck in leaf mode? And which environmental signal are you going to fix first? Moving away from constant intervention and focusing on proper environmental signaling ensures your tree will naturally choose to produce a heavy harvest year after year.